All right. I believe we're recording. I believe we are recording. 1 second. Let me go ahead and turn off my. Hi, I think we're recording. Looks like it's actually working. Let me go ahead and turn off my fan because that noise is obnoxious. Just give me one moment. There we go. So, we are off to a totally organized and not weird start. So, Nash Community College students here for summer 2023 history, welcome again. As always, if you're here for American History 1 or American History 2, you are in the right place. So, at the time of me recording this, this is our last real day for week 5. Your assignment for week 5 is due tonight at 11:59 p.m. So the majority of this video, if you haven't already guessed from the title, is going to be focused on making sure you're ready / giving advice for week 6. So, just as a quick rehash in case you're watching this before week 5 ends, or if you're you missed the assignment for week 5 and want to catch back up on it, here is a quick refresher. Again, everything you need for week 5 is summarized in the work schedule. All the PowerPoints and the readings with all the information you need is located right here. And then, of course, your assignment for week 5 was writing assignment 2, which is due June 23rd at 11:59 p.m. So, at the time of me recording this, it's still June the 23rd. So, if you're watching this on the 23rd, you still have a chance to turn it in if you haven't done so already. If you haven't turned it in, and this is after June 23rd, you should still be able to turn it in as long as too much time has not passed. Just make sure you fill out that late work submission form. Make sure you let me know you've submitted the assignment, and I will go ahead and get that graded as well. There will be some points taken off, but to be clear, you can still submit it if the due date has passed. So, that's week 5. Come Monday, week 6 will be, of course, marked as your current week. That one officially runs from June the 26th through June the 30th. And let me go ahead and give you all a quick rundown of what to expect. And again, the prompts for my 2 classes are a little bit different since, of course, one's up to the Civil War, one's after. But again, the rules and the expectations are the same. It's just different content we're covering. So, week 6. I would once again, as I do in all these videos, encourage you to start with looking at the work schedule right here. It again lays out for you exactly what you need to do this week, what order I recommend you complete everything in, all of that fun stuff. So again, below that, you will of course have, and actually just let me go ahead and show you what it looks like. So again, here's the work schedule if my internet will work. So again, this is of course the one for American History 2. Let me go ahead and actually change this number. I put a 1 for some reason. It has the readings, it has a slideshow, readings, slideshow, your assignments. Boom. Should hopefully be pretty straightforward. Again, it shows you what to do and the order to complete it in. So, you then of course have the links to all the slideshows, all the readings or videos for the week. Then, of course, at the bottom, you have the description of your assignments. This week, will, if you haven't noticed already, will be a bit of a busier week. Technically, probably your busiest so far. You have 2 assignments due this week. One of them should be more extensive than the other, and I would probably recommend you do it first to get it out of the way. But I do expect you to take both of them seriously for reasons I'll get into in a second. So, I'll be relatively quick with this one because you've done one of these before. You just had your second content quiz. It will be coming up at the time of me recording this next Friday, June the 30th, 11:59 p.m. Again, as always, all the directions, all the questions, everything you should need is located in the content quiz section of Moodle. And again, it should be exactly the same as the first one we did, just of course the content we've done since then. I will go over there though, just to show it to you all and just to clarify a couple of things. Now, also, by the way, at the time of me recording this, you should be able to access the quiz by now. See, I set it up to where it would be available to students starting yesterday. So again, whatever time you're recording this, or you're watching this, even if a week hasn't officially started yet, if you're able, feel free to go ahead and get a head start on this. Because again, as you should also see down here in week 6, you should have access to this week in Moodle as well. So you should be able to access everything you would need if you're the type of person who likes to do things on the weekend, get a head start, what have you. So again, it's pretty straightforward. The directions and the questions are right here. The answer sheet you will use to submit your answers with is right here. And again, just a quick reminder, if you use outside sources, if you directly quote anything, properly cite it like you would a regular writing assignment, make sure the majority of your response is in your own words. Now, I do want to pull up the directions here because I want to go ahead and pull up or mention a couple of specific things that I want to make sure we don't miss because I think some of us missed it on the first one. So, The main thing I can stress with this quiz is that to remember, like I've said, like you might have seen on my feedback, some of you, this is a completely online quiz. That, of course, means that just getting the answer correct is not enough. Because again, this is an online quiz. You can look up all these answers. I am well aware of that. So that's why you can see here that again, if I can emphasize this, the evidence and the examples, if I can get my computer to work, the evidence and the examples you give are primarily what I grade. That's why I want you to really focus on this first sentence right here. So again, just getting the correct answer isn't enough. Making an argument about its significance, its historical influence, giving evidence to back up your argument, that is what I primarily grade on. So for example, let's say that you watching this are in my American History 2 class. Just giving me the Webster definition for what mutually assured destruction is and moving on with your day is not enough to get full credit. You will get partial credit because you can at least tell me what it is. You've at least bothered to look up what it is. But to get full credit, you again make an argument about its, give evidence of it, give examples, make that argument about why it's important, why it was influential to American history. Again, I cannot stress that enough. That is the biggest thing that I will grade for in these quizzes. So again, looking for Operation Barbarossa. Don't just give me a definition of what it was. Tell me why it's important. Why should we care that this happened? That kind of thing. The same thing, except of course more important for the mini essay section. I expect more evidence and more of an argument than you would give me for the short IDs. Because for again, the short IDs, you only need to really write a few sentences to describe it, give an argument. For the mini essays, I expect a couple of paragraphs or so, giving me a more detailed and evidence-filled argument. And as you can see here, as I put in blue, I do want you to actually, again, reference actual class materials. Give me evidence and arguments from materials in class, or at least your own research. So that way, again, you're actually putting in some effort to formulate an argument and an opinion, and not just copying the definition. So again, that's the biggest thing I can say about the quizzes. I encourage you to keep that in mind. Now, the only other thing I'll mention then about the quizzes at this point in time is to remember, as you should be able to see, or as you can see in the syllabus, the content quizzes do drop the lowest grade. So the good news is, if some of you don't like your grade from the first one, or if you didn't turn in the first one, whatever your problem is, if you do well on Content Quiz 2 and Content Quiz 3, Content Quiz 1 is going to go away. That grade will not affect your gradebook whatsoever. Now, let's say you did very well on Content Quiz 1, and for whatever reason you bomb Content Quiz 2 or Content Quiz 3, or you forget to submit it, whatever happens. That grade will go away, that bad grade will go away, and Content Quiz 1 will stay. So again, just remember, the lowest grade out of the content quizzes does get dropped, so I want to encourage you all to keep that in mind. Now, you won't really know the ultimate results of that, of course, until Content Quiz 3 is done, because again, some of us, we don't know what our lowest grade is going to be yet, but by the end of the semester, once all of these are graded, the lowest grade will be dropped. So do, of course, keep that in mind. So, that's all I have to say about the content quiz. As always, any questions, feel free to let me know, shoot me an email, schedule an office hours meeting, whatever you feel like you need to do. In the meantime, like I said, your second assignment is the final assignment bibliography. It is also due June the 30th at 11:59 p.m. So, like it says here, all the directions are located in the final assignment prompt expectations document, which is in Moodle. And I do want to stress here, there is no word count. I stress that because, again, I want you to still take this seriously, but I'm also not expecting a huge essay for this. This does not have to be a rough draft of the final. I'm not looking for huge paragraphs or huge essays. This is just a bibliography assignment. You don't have to kill yourself over this assignment. In terms of content and how much just volume you put out there, Content Quiz 2 should be your biggest focus there. In the meantime, let's go up to the final directions and talk about the bibliography. So, again, you pull up the final assignment document, you go through here, the final assignment prompt. It's got everything described right there. There's the prompt, all of that fun stuff. In the meantime, the directions for the bibliography are located a little bit closer to the bottom. So, this is just where you're essentially going to give me a rough draft of your finals bibliography. So, what you're going to do is give me a minimum of 5 potential sources. So, I want at least 5 of the sources you plan to use. And don't forget, including primary and secondary sources. So again, don't just give me secondary, I want primary included in there. And if you remember, of course, we do have materials from the first week of class that talks about the difference. You're welcome to run examples by me as well. So this is relatively pretty simple. I have a link here that takes you to some research guides that have questions for an annotated bibliography. Again, if my internet will work, I apologize. Here we go. So, there are 3 questions that I want you to answer. All you're going to do is for each source, you're going to answer the 3 questions. You're going to tell me basically what it's about, just quickly summarize it. Tell me how it relates to the other sources in your bibliography. Is it going to help? Is it biased? Is it working well with the others? Something like that. And most importantly, you're going to answer question number 3, which is where you're just going to be prepared to explain how this helps support your research. Basically, how does this source that you're including support your argument, make it better, uphold what you're trying to prove to me? So, that's all you have to do. Now, one thing I want to stress, because students have gotten confused in the past, is I only require you to answer the questions in bold. You do not have to answer every single one of these other little shorter questions. This just gives you examples of things to talk about when you're answering that big, bold question. But the bold question is all I need you to answer. Also, again, as you can see down here, again, like I said, they're just examples of what to answer. There is no word count. I expect you to take this seriously and give me effective sources you plan to use, but I do not require a huge essay. Now, the last thing I'll mention before we move on is please do remember to look over the feedback I gave you for your thesis statement assignment, because again, if you're still doing research for a final idea that I've already said won't really work or needs changes, that's going to be a problem. So, remember just a couple things I want to stress about the prompt, because these are the main things some people forgot. First, remember this right here that I've highlighted in red for you. You're picking 3 topics to focus on. So don't just give me one event, one person, one object, one invention, one war, one whatever. Give me 3 different topics. Now, the other thing a lot of people forgot is they're picking things from one single time period. I want you to, again, try to pick topics from 3 different time periods. That's why I've stressed before that you're more than welcome to change your topics as the semester continues. But those are the 2 main things I want you to remember. So, for example, let's say I have a person who picks war as the thing they want to focus on. I get that a lot. That's a great topic. So you would give me 3 wars from different points in American history, make an argument about why they are so important. That's, again, really all I'm looking for the final. So I would first, again, go through the feedback I gave you on the thesis statement. Make sure that you, again, have 3 clear topics picked. They're from different time periods, and you're making an argument about why these topics are important. If you've done that, go ahead and make your bibliography. You should be fine. If you realize you want to change your thesis statement based on my feedback, or you just want to on your own, feel free as well to run that by me. I have no problem looking over a new thesis statement, letting you know if it works. So, that's basically all I have for you. That's what's going to be coming up on week 6. Again, if you're still finishing up week 5, good luck. Otherwise, any questions that come up on week 6 materials, please let me know as soon as possible. Otherwise, you're going to have a great rest of your day, your week, whatever time it is, and I will talk to you all again soon.